Hey, Pastor Ray Barnett here with you. Glad that you could be with me here on the Oasis. And as always, I wish you a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you're watching this broadcast. We have an overcast day here in upstate New York, and I've come to this spot that for those of you who've been with me for some time may remember, down here on the east bank of the Mohawk River. Most of the videos I've done this year are on the west bank, the other side, and I have avoided coming to this actually very beautiful spot because I'm going to turn you around here just a little bit and I'll show you why. If you can see that really beautiful vista. A year or so back, the state of New York decided to use this as some type of camping ground and in my opinion completely destroyed the view that you have right now. Maybe I can get you up a little bit closer, you can see it a little bit better. Well, that didn't help a whole lot. But you can see this really beautiful vista, and if I turn it around a little bit more, you can see, again, for those of you who've been with me for some time, you'll get to see that stone wall there. It's part of a very large type of a retaining wall, kind of a retaining wall, where in the 19th century the barges used to come here, and you can't see the building. I think you can catch the foundation of this old store that was called Putman's grocery store. So the wall that I just showed you is where the barges would come in, and they would stop there. Right, here's the river's over here. Part of the canal is over there, which I just showed you. And they would come in and they would disembark from their barges, boats, and come in here, buy their supplies. Again, I'm talking about the 1800s. And yeah, it's a really beautiful spot. But based on what I just showed you, I had to avoid coming here. I didn't know they took the tents away. So I got to find out, did they take them away because it's the end of the summer, or did they just decide it was a bad idea? In my opinion, it was a bad idea from the beginning. But that's just my opinion. Well, we are getting past peak here in upstate New York as far as the foliage. Though you can still see, behind me, some of the trees are still orange and red and yellow. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But here's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about frustrations. I don't know about you, but I believe I am confronted with frustration just about every day. Sometimes it's just minor. Sometimes it's major, very large things. I won't go into all the details, but I can say this: if you have frustrations as frequently as I do, you have to calculate them into not only your life, but into your day. And especially those of you, and it's the majority of you watching this broadcast, this channel, you have a goal to get set free from nervous symptoms, basically anxiety, depression, and then all of the other categories of mental health, some more severe than others. So you have a goal. And in the pursuit of that goal, you have an aim. Your aim is the goal is to overcome your symptoms, be symptom free, be free from your panic attacks and anxiety attacks and your physical symptoms, the things that you go through. That's your goal. Some of you, you have not only that goal, but some other goals as well. But you're frequently frustrated by obstacles. So what I just said to you is that in my life, because I have quite a few goals, it's always, those goals are always hampered by frustrations. So here's the wisdom for the day. If you know frustrations are going to come from the smallest task that you do, always something. I'll tell you my philosophy. Whenever my wife has said to me, got to do something around the house, let's say, and she would finish with it's a small job, my experience and my credo is that there is no such thing as a small job. You go to change a light switch, which is fairly simple and easy, and before you know it, you're into some big project. Well, maybe I've overstated my case, but that's how I see it. There's no such thing as a small job. But in life, in general, for every person on the planet, you're going to run into obstacles and you're going to have frustrations. Things are not always going to work out the way you want. On the rare occasion that they do, well, that's just a beautiful thing. Things just went so smoothly. But again, I'm speaking just for myself. That's not been the story of my life. It's just a series of frequent frustrations and obstacles, and what spares me and what will spare you from spinning out of control, whether it's in relation to your symptoms, your nervous symptoms, or just to your marriage, your family, your job, all of the above, is that you have to expect that life is filled with frustrations, both minor and major. So here's the wisdom. If you know that you're going to embark on some project, for you it's overcoming your symptoms on this channel, then when the frustration comes, you won't be terribly frustrated because you expected it. Now, I've got to be truthful with you. As long as I've been alive, I still forget from time to time that because I'm aiming at a goal, whatever goal that may be, there's going to be obstacles and frustrations and hindrances and all these things. But because I know that obstacles and frustrations are going to come, and in my case, once again, it's frequent. I say it's daily. Well, it pretty much is. As it is, I think, for many of you. Lots of frustrations and obstacles. But here again, if you are not wise enough to understand that life is filled with frustrations, filled with obstacles, and I might say this, the higher your goal is, and even the more noble, it's going to be filled with even more obstacles and more frustrations. But then again, if you know that, and you don't forget, frustrations are part of everybody's life, not just yours, then when they occur, you will begin to do what I've shared with you before on this broadcast. You will improvise. Then you will adapt to the improvisation, and then you overcome. That's how we, for lack of a better term, that's how we win at life. Every commander knows that a battle plan is only as good as the first shot that's fired. And all of a sudden, you have to improvise because things have changed, the landscape has changed. Then you have to adapt to the improvisation, and then you work that new plan. I mean, the goal is the same. You're still, obviously in combat, it's to take a position, kill the enemy, but you adapt to the new plan, the altered plan, and you overcome it, and you win. I've frequently told you that if you quit, you're going to lose, because it's just lost by default. Can't win something that you're no longer in. Can't win a war that you've quit on. Can't win a battle. Well, I should say again, you can't win the war if you are discouraged by the many battles that you're having. So here it is again. If you know that frustrations are going to come, newlyweds, I think, are pretty typical in this respect. They're not aware or prepared for the many, many frustrations of married life. Raising children, they're beautiful when they're born and cute when they're growing up, but then they hit a patch, I don't know, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, where they're not so cute and certainly not so cooperative. It's frustrating. And of course, in my line of work, in my calling, I should say, a lot of very terrible things happen to some people, not all. And you weren't thinking about that. Nobody gets up thinking about this child that you raised is not going to see their 21st birthday. Okay, that's extreme. But all of us have frustrations. All of us have obstacles to our goals. Now, let me remind you, your goal is to overcome your symptoms, your fears, your anxieties, your depressions. But if you're not aware of the fact that there's going to be many obstacles to that goal and many frustrations, then you're going to become frustrated. That may cause you to quit. Can't quit. But what it should do is inspire you to improvise. That means you're changing your plan to fit the circumstance. The landscape's changed. First shot, so to speak, was fired. All of a sudden, things have changed already. So you got to keep improvising. Once you start to improvise and you got a good plan going now, a plan within the plan, then you adapt to that, and then you overcome. So today, I just want to leave you with this, that life is filled with frustrations. And if you don't calculate that the unseen, unforeseen things are going to happen in whatever you're shooting for. Here again, it's nervous symptoms, but it applies to anything. Then you're going to be in a position where you're going to be frustrated, and then tension in the body, nervous symptoms, whatever, depression, anxiety, anger, fear. Keep on going down the list. So it's really, once again, as I tell you so often, it's very simple. I mean, the wisdom that you get on this channel is very simple to understand. But the training to actually do what needs to be done to be well, to get well, is not all that easy. Simple and easy are not the same thing. So let me say it one last time before I pray for you today. If you will take it into your wheelhouse that whatever you do, there's going to be some obstacles, obstructions, and frustrations. If you understand that, not even knowing what they may be, when they arrive, because they will, you won't be frustrated because you expected it. In other words, if you expect frustrations, you won't be frustrated because you knew they were going to come. I have many years experience with this, and I'm never I'm never surprised that what I planned isn't working out according to the plan. So I have to improvise, come up with a plan within a plan, or maybe even a new plan, and then adapt to that plan, and then overcome and win, which is the object of this broadcast. To win over those things that are up against you, specifically your depressions, your anxieties. How about this one here? I'll throw it in. Hey, life's not fair. Well, what a revelation that is. I mean, I hope that you're mature enough to understand that this life, is simply not fair, at least not always. You treat people kindly. This was an early mistake I made for many years in my life. I just had this quixotic notion that if I treated people well, they would treat me well in return. Well, that hasn't always worked out too good for Pastor Ray. So you learn that not everything with people, or even with yourself, is going to work out exactly the way that you hoped or the way that you thought. Then you won't be terribly frustrated. You'll be able to go on. You'll be able to now you know why I'm smiling, right? I've been sitting here for quite a while. It has been so quiet. Train makes a great illustration of what I'm talking about. In fact, just really quick, a few years back they had a law that when this train's going to come to a crossing, that they're not supposed to be yanking on their horn, which they did away with that. Just a little couple quick toots. But it wouldn't surprise me if in a minute my voice is overcome with a large blaring sound. Well, I think you get the picture. Life is filled with frustrations. Expect them so that you won't become frustrated and you can keep on going forward. Always going forward. Never defeated. Always just adapting to your plan, your new plan, and then overcoming. All right? Expect frustrations so that you won't be frustrated in your quest for good health, mental and otherwise. So let me pray for you. Over the top of this imposing train that's coming by right now. Father, I pray for my friends. I even thank you that you provided us with a good example of what I'm talking about. I sat here for quite a while, so quiet. Could hear the leaves fall on the ground. Now, in the middle of a broadcast, once again, we have an obstacle. But we overcome it. And I pray that my friends would learn this, to expect frustrations and obstacles so they're not frustrated, they don't quit, and they keep on going forward to good health, mental and otherwise. And I pray that in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, well, that's all I had for you for today. Just expect frustrations, and you won't be frustrated because you knew they were going to come. As always, I invite those of you who just happened upon this broadcast, or maybe someone shared it with you, to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button. For those of you who do watch on a regular basis, I really encourage you to share with the many people that really need help in their own discouragements and frustrations and pain that they're going through in their life. So please do that. Please share the broadcast. And if you're interested in being with us on a regular basis, subscribe and hit the notification button. All right. Weather is going to be a little iffy, a little on, a little off. The sun came out while we were broadcasting. So we should be good, I think, this week to go forward with the broadcast outside. It's not cold out today. And it shouldn't be cold this week at all. It's going to be near to 70. So, that being said, as always, I always sign off by reminding you to make sure the peace of God rules in your heart. God bless you. Lord willing, I'll be with you here again tomorrow on the Oasis.